Chad Moyer with you here on the Rural Radio Network. It is time for Fridays in the Field. It's brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. And we find ourselves in northeast Nebraska once again, and we're north of Creston, Nebraska, visiting with Bob Larson, a dairy farmer here by Creston. Bob, thanks for joining us again here today. Just give us the quick update over the last 6 weeks. What has been the focus here at the Bob Larson Farm?
Yeah, so the focus kind of we got first cutting alfalfa put up. We're getting ready to do second cutting. We'll be doing that next week. It's been kind of dry around here. We've kind of missed out on a lot of the rains, but getting our spraying done, and now we're going to focus on alfalfa next week, and we'll be moving on from there then.
Now, while it's been a little bit dry, on the other hand, you haven't had to deal with any severe storms either, huh?
No, we haven't. We've been really lucky to not catch a lot of that hail. I know a lot of people were unfortunate in the state with high winds and hail, and we've dodged all those bullets. So.
The last time we were here, we talked about an experiment you were doing with your organic soybeans, and it had to do with weed control. Again, just kind of quick summarize. What did you try?
Yeah. So our trial was we were going to put wheat out into the ground, and that was kind of going to be our weed barrier to hold back the weeds. Plant soybeans into there, let the wheat hold it back. The wheat's going to die. The soybeans will come through. Really dry when we started this, so we planted the wheat. Wheat didn't come up right away, so we were a little bit behind on that. So the weeds and the wheat started coming up together. We did plant the soybeans in there. Now we're looking at drought. The wheat's taking a lot of the moisture. The weeds are still growing. They seem to handle drought a lot better than anything else. So we're kind of having a little bit of a mess on what we're doing. So we're kind of looking at what options we can go on there. You know, we talked earlier that this is why we do trials. We're doing 30 acres. This year it's not going to be a very good trial for us. But that's why we do it. We need to learn. We don't want to do it on the whole farm. So 30 acres is a nice trial size. It's not going to break the bank. If we can't do it, we always have the option with livestock that we can come in there and just put it up for feed.
So do you think the lack of moisture in getting the wheat up quickly, was that the crux of this?
I think that was what really got us off to a bad start. Is we got out there with a clean slate where there was no weeds growing. We got the wheat just sat there until we got the rain. Well, when we got the rain, the weeds started coming at the same time. So nothing had a head start on it, where normally wheat's kind of a little bit faster growing, when it's cooler out in the spring.
Are there any options to deal with it now?
We've kind of kicked around. This is an organic field, so we've kind of tossed around maybe taking it out of organic, going to like a non-GMO option where we can put some spray over the top to do it. We're kind of waiting to see if we're going to get a rain here. If we don't get a rain, it might not matter, because the wheat's taking a lot of the moisture that we have right now out there. So soybeans are a pretty tough cookie though. So we'll just kind of wait and see what's going to happen next week. But if we would go non-GMO, then we'd go out there, spray it, and knock the weeds back and still keep to the same plan.
So we're actually pretty close to second cutting on some of your alfalfa fields?
Yep, we'll be cutting next week to start putting second cutting up.
Okay, so how was first cutting for you?
First cutting was a really good cutting. We had really good cutting. We did get that rain earlier, so that really brought first cutting up where we got that. As we go into second, as we look out here, it looks pretty good, Chad. I'm anticipating it's going to be down. We really haven't got much rain here, so it's probably going to be down by quite a bit. It looks good, but it's going to be light. So
we had heard that weevils blew into the state earlier than normal. Was that the same case here in Creston?
So before first cutting, we did end up spraying 10 to 14 days before we cut it somewhere in there, just trying to knock those bugs down. Very glad we did that. We did get the green up really fast afterwards, because everything was we had that way clean. And I know some guys around the area, and right before cutting, they really started seeing leaves coming off and a lot of infestation of feeding on the alfalfa.
All right, very good. So as far as the success of the next crop here, kind of depended on moisture, and I would imagine that's going to be the case for third and fourth.
Yeah,
too, huh?
I think we'll be decent on second cutting. Third's going to be the one where it's really going to hurt for greening back up and stuff, because I think the plants put everything in to getting it here, greening back up again. If we don't catch a rain, third would probably be next to nothing if we don't catch a rain.
Let's switch gears and kind of look forward now for your. I think it's safe to say that we're going into crop protection season, right? What's the goal for the corn and soybeans?
Yeah, So right now, as we're looking, we're going to start spraying some of our soybeans. We had some white mold that came in last year on some of our. It's always your best yielding stuff because the beans like to get taller, and it really makes humidity and moisture stays under there, so it has that fungus and stuff start growing a lot. So we're going to come out there. We're going to get a fungicide on early. We're going to spray some PGRs on there, trying to get it to node a lot shorter, trying to keep the height of the bean down. Get those nodes tight so we can get more pods to come tighter together on that soybean. So that's going to be starting. We'll get hay done and we'll be starting to do that. We're just kind of getting into the R1 stage where we're starting to see some flowers come out on beans. So that'll be kind of the next stage on the crop. And as corn comes, when we get to that V10 to V12, we'll start kind of doing the same thing there, trying to protect that with some fungicides and some micronutrients and stuff. So
okay, and you said too, kind of experimenting with some over-the-top products too, just to see what they might do for you.
Yeah, so we've done some trials with Brandt fertilizers in the past. This year they wanted to do a trial with us on putting some potash out over the top on it. So they have a Smart KB product, so it's got some boron and it's got some potassium in it. Hearing some pretty good things coming from that, so we're kind of excited. A lot of the guys that are really pushing yields to the highest are talking about having a lot more potash that they're putting out in their fields. So we're hoping that the little bit that we put on, but still tricks the plant enough to think that it's got extra in abundance that we can see. Now, again, it's a trial, so we're gonna go out. We're gonna do 40 acres trials blocks on some of this and try it and see, prove it, and then if it's something, we'll run with it then.
And I would imagine if we don't catch a rain, trying to get the irrigators, get the pivots going as efficiently as possible.
Yep. So we've started running pivots already now, but yeah, that's going to be the next thing is going to protect mode that way with keeping water on stuff and keep that plant from drying up. So.
Very good. Bob, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for the update.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Chad.
Again, we've been visiting with Bob Larson, Larson Dairy Farm just north of Creston, Nebraska, for our Fridays in the Field segment here on the Rural Radio Network. Again, it's brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. Here on the Rural Radio Network, Chad Moyer reporting.